We're live. It's nighttime with Dara. It's not so moody lighting, but it will be good for you guys to see me. The last one was kind of dark. And I'm going to be answering questions that got direct message to me, and they cover topics that I love. So, and I'll answer some of your questions as well. So I got some, hey, yay us. I just got back from my walk to Air One, and I'm so happy to see everybody and your waves. And hi, Jamie. So what I did was I just screenshotted my direct messages, and then I texted them to myself so I can answer questions. And hold your questions. I'm going to answer one of these, and then I'll take one of yours if you want. There were topics: feng shui questions, astrogeography questions, food questions, and these are all my favorite topics. Decluttering questions, and feel free to direct message me. I see them, I snapshot them, and then I will, aren't they so fun? I know, they're ridiculously fun. I want to get real glasses like this big. So these are my readers. So now I am going to, are you guys ready? Hi, Dara. I'm inspired by how you walk so gracefully after the passing of your mom. I just lost my love and I am struggling, but I see how beautifully and gracefully you move. It was hard, and it was the most sad and beautiful experience I've ever had in my life. The two most important days were the birth of my daughter and the passing of my mom. And for any of you who have not seen my YouTube videos when my mom was not well and I was trying to get her well with the Gerson therapy, they are on YouTube. And so I shared the experience, and I shared the day she passed, and I got nothing short of downloads in the 40 days from the time I arrived and found out she had a brain tumor to the 40th day, the day she passed. And it was incredible. Really and truly, I got gifted like extra superhuman powers and gifts that she gave me in her passing that I got to pass on to you guys on YouTube. And so if anyone has had somebody they love pass recently, it's a good and beautiful perspective on passing. And thank you for reminding me of that. I think about her every night before I go to sleep and every morning when I wake up. And there's definitely such a thing as love from above. So yes, please go over to YouTube, Dara Dubonnet, in 2014, I believe. And yeah, you will find some videos on my mamacita and what it was like. So I'm sorry for your loss. And just know that we don't get to choose when somebody stays, when somebody goes. We can't make somebody better. We can't make somebody adopt a raw food lifestyle. We can only love them while they're here and let them feel, we can feel them closer sometimes when they pass because they're no longer in their pain body that drags them down. So they become closer to us in many, many, many ways. I have a beautiful story about that, so direct message me if you want to hear that. So now, this one's astrogeography sessions, and this is a little bit detailed, but basically astrogeography is the astrology of place. I have a course which people are finding very easy to use, and they are loving it. And astrogeography, the course helps you with couples because you can look at your chart, then you can pull up someone else's chart and see if they match up, if your happy place matches their happy place, and that's so fun. Hey, Karen. So basically, here are 2 astrogeography questions for my next live. What is the distance that a line has an effect on a location? Well, when you find a longitudinal line, which I show you how to do in my astrogeography course, it is most potent on the line. And then within 700 miles of that line, that's what I call the orb of influence. And it's vibrational. So it's strongest on the line, and then it gets gradually weaker farther away from the line, and only you will know when it stops affecting you, challenging or supporting. And so some astrogeographers measure up to 300 miles. My teacher did up to 700 miles. You can decide for yourself by knowing. The course is $198, and it is a beautiful, palatable wealth of information, so easily delivered, so that you can read your chart and anyone else's and understand about the planets and in which ways they affect you depending on which angle. There are 4 angles to each planet. So I really recommend the course, and people have been telling me that they love it. And then after the course, if you need clarification, I offer to the people who've taken the course $150 reading where I go in and check and we go through it. So you need your birth time for your astrogeography. And so if you cannot get a hold of your birth certificate from the hospital, or it wasn't ever on it, then Barbara Goldsmith is an astrologer who does something called astrology rectification. And what they do is they work based on major events in your life. They can come up with a pretty accurate birth time. And so she does that. She's on YouTube, Barbara Goldsmith. She's also here on Instagram. The second question is, around Hawaii, 5 lines run quite close on my chart. So how do you interpret places like this? Well, one line standing alone is strong and standing alone. When another line is with it or crossing it or conjunct, it's considered crossing energy or conjunct energies, and those two have their own. It's like this planet and this planet make a baby together with their own energy, and we talk about that in the course. And then I tell you the important crossings to be aware of. Like, for example, Pluto might not be good. It might be challenging, like transformation, but combined with the planet of fortune, Jupiter, it could create like inheritance and lottery and abundant and faithful blessings, like angelic protection. So that can happen. And if there are more than 2 lines, then each line becomes a little diluted. And depending on you and your nature and your countenance, which you should know, you will have a feeling as to which line is running game. So, do I live near my supporting lines? I do. I have a beautiful story about that. I live on my Jupiter line, Jupiter rising. So me personally, rising, when the planet is rising, it's how the planet expresses itself in you and through you. And so I live on a Jupiter rising line. You would know me as optimistic and inspiring and joyful and lucky. And I share that. I share my generosity of spirit and my sense of freedom and celebration. And I do feel that life is a celebration and in the little things in life. So years ago, when I was living on a Neptune line and I was having a hard time, it was a lot of spiritual lessons. It was not easy for me to create as an artist. I didn't get anything done. And I visited California, and all of a sudden I was like, I feel happy here. I feel pretty here. I feel sexy. I feel creative. And I came home and I asked my astrologer, my astrologer, and I'd never heard about astrogeography. And she said, oh, well, no wonder. You're living on a Neptune line, which is a lot of spiritual lessons and not that easy to see clearly. Great for spirituality and monastic living and for tapping into the collective unconscious and knowing what's going on spiritually. But to live on that line year after year when you're a person who likes to get things done and be seen can be quite difficult. And she said, California is my Jupiter line, and when you get there, thousands of people will want to hear what you have to say. So thank you for saying that, Rachel, that the course was great. So it absolutely is there is such a thing as an astrogeographical fix. So when I do sessions for people, even just in intuitive sessions, I will always look to see what planetary energies they are swimming in where they are living, because it definitely will affect us. Like you, I was born on my Pluto line. What does it mean that I keep getting drawn back to it even though it's always felt like a challenging place? Well, I'd like to know where Pluto is in your natal chart. That's something that I look at. I have Pluto in the first house, and I'm just walking around transforming myself all the time without that energy. So it might be that your spirit just needs revolution. That's what Pluto will give you. It will give you new creation. A few tips for when the heart goes through a harder time. I have a video on YouTube called Letting Go. And remember that love never goes away. It just changes form. It exists on all levels, on all planes, everywhere. And sometimes it needs to change form. So letting go, knowing that the love remains, is quite beautiful. I need to take your courses to do your... Yes, I would recommend, Lady Laura Lou, that you do the course. It's fun. And it's just great information to know about the planets and what you're dealing with. What are we doing? We're talking about astrogeography, the astrology of place, and the course that I created to help you guys be able to do it for yourselves. And so I got to California and I had all kinds of blessings. I really asked the universe, should I I was a feng shui consultant, should I do feng shui or should I do this jewelry thing I've always loved since I was 7? And literally the night I asked, I met this amazing jewelry designer, Eric Silva. He is here on Instagram. And I went to a gallery. My boyfriend at the time asked me to go look at this Jim Morrison painting. And I went into the gallery and I saw these amazing cases suspended from the ceiling, and I was fascinated. They were just gorgeous display cases, which this designer built. And then inside was this jewelry like I had never seen. And the artist was there, and I started pointing out, that's rhodochrosite, and oh, that's this, and that's chrysoprase. And he said, how do you know so much about stones? And I said, well, I make jewelry, but nothing like yours. I'm not metalsmithing yet. He said, I'd like to see. So he came over and he saw my display of things that I had wire wrapped and hung and beaded, and he said, you're definitely ready for the next level. And a couple days later, I drove to Whittier, where he and his wife taught me how to metalsmith. And the next day, I drove downtown LA. I bought an oxygen tank and a propane tank, and I just started firing it up at the kitchen counter in an apartment building, praying I wouldn't blow up the building. And I would take metal and I'd pound it, and I'd go to the beach to pound it so I didn't disturb my neighbors. One came up after I had been pounding on the kitchen counter, and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm so sorry. So I did that, and shortly thereafter, I had one of the top publicists in the jewelry world approach me and say, I only rep this one famous designer, and I'd like to rep you. And that's Jupiter. That's Jupiter energy. So it's really, really, really fun. And then when I found out about raw food and it changed my life, that's another story. I went to culinary school and I got a job as a private chef for a well-known actor. And then after a year of that and deciding not to open up a restaurant with him, I started my YouTube channel where I was sharing what I do. And when I did the jewelry, thousands of people saw what I did because I was in all the publications, trade publications and fashion magazines. But the raw food thing made so much sense to me because it changed my life. I felt younger and I lost weight, and it was like, why didn't anybody ever tell me this? And so that's what made me passionate about sharing on YouTube all of those videos, and there are many for those of you who haven't seen. Such an expander. Thank you, Jenna. Does my course go over family charts? Like, where would it be best for many people together to live? So what you do is you do your chart. You pull it up on the computer. Then you pull up your husband's chart. Then you pull up your children's chart, and you see, mostly it's most important to see what your family members are dealing with, where they are. And so you can help them. I give you ways to harness the energy if it's a wonderful one, or call in and the wonderful ones to where you are. And you can know what your children are dealing with. I think it's of the utmost importance. So yes, you can do everybody in your family's chart if you take the course. Absolutely. So now, let's see if I got another one. Let's have another one, just like the other one. Let's see. Thank you, Jamie. That's sweet of you to say. So, hey, Dara, I'm loving your tips on feng shui. I've realized our bathroom is above our kitchen in the southeast direction, and I've read how detrimental that can be on health and wealth, which I've experienced a lot since moving here. Any tips on how to balance these areas to minimize the negative effects? Okay, so we want to boost our health and our wealth, and I feel like that feng shui that she's asking about, there are a couple of different schools of feng shui. That one is probably compass, that deals with the north, the south, the east, the west. Professor Lin Yan developed a school for the West, developed a school of feng shui, and it's called, get this, the Black Hat Sect Tibetan Buddhist School of Feng Shui. And he really took all the ancient Chinese principles of feng shui and developed it for Westerners. And it's a very easy feng shui to practice, and it takes the bagua, the map that corresponds, which area of the home corresponds with love, which area of the home corresponds with wealth, and it teaches us how to place the map on our homes. So you can practice the compass school and the directions. I would do it mildly, and I like this Black Hat Sect Tibetan Buddhist School of Feng Shui because it's much easier, and you can boost all the areas and manifest and expand all the areas of your life, such as wealth and health. And the feng shui class will be coming up because that's an important one. It's so much fun to know where the heck you are developing your clutter. Like, where are you having obstacles in your life? You can go into them internally and figure out where you're blocked. And very easily, you can just look at what areas of your home you have chosen to put obstacles, whether they're architectural or physical clutter, where your toilet is, where you put your running shoes, where you keep all your junk, and you get some aha moments that are like no other. So I really enjoy feng shui. Serafina, when you reference the line of a planet, are you talking about the IC, MC, AC, or DC? Those are the angles which I'm referring to. So there's a planetary line, let's say Jupiter, and then it has 4 ways in which it expresses itself. Either the IC, the Imam Cheli, that affects the home. The MC, the midheaven, that it will throw its energies into society and your relationship with society and career. The AC, which is the planet ascending, and the planet will express itself in how you are expressed personally. And then the descendant angle is how the planet is expressing itself in your relationships, your significant partnerships. So all of this is in the course, and all about the planets is in the course, and it's fun. So I love my astrogeography course. It was such a journey, and I'm getting a lot of great feedback, and my goal and my mission, and it's similar to that of raw food, that I wanted people to be able to feed themselves day in and day out. I want you guys to be able to know your astrogeography now and every time you travel, to know where you're headed, what you're headed into, to know the astrogeography of your child, to know what they're dealing with. It's amazing. it's really, I really like it, and I really like doing it, but I like teaching you guys how to do it more because it's liberating. Years ago, when I heard about my astrogeography, I never had a map. I never had anything to refer to for the next 15 years. Like, not until recently did I have my own map to be able to practice. And I thought, wow, wouldn't this have been great to know when I was thinking of relocating somewhere else or traveling, or to know what energies you're going to be headed into if you're going on a business trip or you need to go to a wedding. You have to go to the wedding, so why not know how to deal with what's going to be happening? And you can. Avocado Cat, my creative director, has arrived. It was her idea to do this question and answer period. Thank you, Lisa. It is going so well. I'm enjoying it so much. Do you love my soup recipes? Well, we had so much fun with the photography of those. We made them, we tested them. They are tried and true. And which one is your favorite? If anybody wants to know what I'm talking about, it's the Soups and Smoothies ebook, available at a very low price on my website at the moment. And it is my answer on how to go raw. It's my answer on how to change your life, how to lose weight, how to have energy, how to get your eyes white and your skin bright. And people always ask me, like, why is your skin so good? What's your skincare regime? And I'm like, it's the greens, it's the fruits and veggies. Oh, okay, you struggle with numbers, dyslexic, so taking the course seems maybe overwhelming. So that's a very good, we went back and forth. I said, maybe we should call it a guide. Course sounds so serious. It's not that serious. The way in which I share raw food is the same way in which I shared the astrogeography. Not hard, no measuring. It's not like what I'm doing with these maps. So I think you can do it. And if you don't, let me know. Creamy kale soup, is that in there? I forgot that recipe's in there. Yum. Yeah, thank you, Avocado Cat. She's my, what's the word for knight in shining armor if you're a woman? She always comes into the rescue when I need help. I need creative guidance. I need to get stuff done. We have a manifesting generator extraordinaire, like somebody who changes direction and gets so excited about things and does things so well. I am impressed always. How do I deal with anger, especially at family members? Good question. Well, I think anger is healthy, right? Like, I think that it shows us that something's happening that needs to not be happening. Like, we need to sort ourselves out. We need to adjust our relationships. Anger lets me know that I need to change course in some fashion. So I've always been a fan of clear communication. My mother was like, not everybody does that, Dara. And she learned how to do it for me. Like, clear communication. It's really all about getting our needs met. So I'm going to send you to the king of compassionate communication. His name is Dr. Marshall Rosenberg, and he has the most soothing voice I have ever heard. It's low, it's deep, and he has a way of helping people resolve conflict beautifully. So listen to Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. He developed a center, I believe it's in Tennessee or Texas, I forget. It's called the Center for Nonviolent Communication. And when I heard about it more than 20 years ago, I was like, this is it. I have to become an advocate. I need to become a counselor. I took a weekend course in it. It is great for communicating with children, for family members. So head that way. You tried to figure it out on astro.com. Well, I guide you through that. If you have a problem, let me know. I try the course. Try it. Hi. I didn't talk about any past life stuff yet. That may be saved for next time. I'm not sure. Jess, I love hearing about astrogeography. I've never heard about it until I heard you mention it a while back. So interesting. I've known about it and been living it for years, but not until recently did I decide it's a thing that I need to delve into like nobody's business. It took a hold of me. This summer, really, I got obsessed. I just got so obsessed. I had known it. I had known kind of how to do it. And then I was like, this is a thing that everybody needs to know. My whole life changed when I moved to my Jupiter line. So if for those of you just joining, I told the story of that, a very short version. That's it. Nonviolent communication is Dr. Rosenberg. Oh, thank you, Arila. So you have Arirale. You have the soups and smoothies book, and you're making me want to make the miso soup. I didn't eat dinner yet because I walked back from Air One, and I'm like, oh, I told them 7 o'clock, and now it's going to be 8 o'clock. I'm going to eat after. Thank you for telling me you like the soups and smoothies. I love them, and I love the photography that Lisa did. And our tonic ebook, the photographs that she took look like they belong in a gallery. Like they really should be printed and hung here. So thank you for saying that my energy is so magnetic. I'm on a Jupiter line. It suits my personality. I want to do a little mini course on how to read your natal chart because there's some fun things I look at when I do sessions for people that give clues to where you could be headed in career and mission, and it's fun stuff. So I grew up in New Jersey, where I was born on a Pluto ascending line. So where you were born tells of who you are, and that will always stay with you. So my Pluto ascending means that I'm a change maker. I bring change amongst the people. And then I moved to Florida, where I was living on a Neptune line. And then I escaped and I got to California in 2005, August of 2005. And that's a whole beautiful story unto itself, which I will be sharing on Lacey's podcast coming up in March. I will keep you guys posted. I've only really shared that story once on my membership site, More with Dara. And it's a beautiful story of expressing that you are never stuck. Well, if you are not able to move forward in Miami, there may be something planetarily that's kind of sticky. And if there is, then in the course, I'm sharing with you how to unstick, how to harness whatever planetary energy is happening and make it work for you. Well, Jada was born in California, in Florida. So I lived there for 10 years before California. Oh, okay. What if you were born in a neutral area, no lines passing through? Basically, you are unchallenged and unsupported. It could be a respite. So for some people, that's the best they have. Some people have wide open Jupiter and wide open Venus, and some other people's charts, their soul chose trickier ones where Jupiter comes with Saturn or Pluto comes, but if it's just blank, then that's it. It's just blank. So it's not supported necessarily. What book do you recommend for someone to start with feng shui? I've got a book for you. So Tara Catherine Collins, and her first name is Tara, Tehrah, Catherine Collins, wrote a book that when I found it, oh my gosh, in like 1996. Yeah, I'm 52. When I found it, I couldn't put it down. And I thought, oh my gosh, there's a name for what I do. There's a name for what I do naturally, and there's more rules. Like, there's a name for what I do intuitively with homes, and then there's rules to it that I can learn more. And so I found a teacher in the area I was living, Carol Cannon, and I took her classes and I was enamored. I couldn't put the book down. So now I saw that Miss Collins has 3 books out. The one that I like is called The Western Guide to Feng Shui. Fantastic. My Pluto chose to be right next to my Venus. So you will have transformation in love and beauty. It depends which angle your lines are on. It tells you a little bit more as well. So there we have it. We did our little Q&A. If anybody has another question, I'm happy to answer it. I have been using my pendulum in my intuitive sessions. It's been great fun. My pendulum matches my spleen pretty much almost always. I have been practicing using my splenic authority in human design for so long that it's pretty much a match. Like, I almost don't need to ask. But I do ask it in times where I feel kind of confused. Like, sometimes I'm just not like tapped in. Like, if I don't know if I want to go to Erewhon or Whole Foods, or if I should blah, blah, blah. Maybe I want to plan a trip. Do I want to go? And I want to go to all three places. I'll say, should I go to India first? That kind of thing. You feel jinxed, honey? You might be living on tough line. You probably are. And if you aren't, we have to figure out how to unjinx you. That's an intuitive session. Bad habit. Okay. Bad habits, like sometimes substance abuse and substance issues and not seeing clearly and not being able to deal with life, could be Neptune. It sounds a little Neptunian. What are your thoughts on moving back to someplace you've lived before? That depends. Usually there's a reason we chose it, either as a soul to come into, or we've chosen it to move to, which means it has nutrients we need, right? Like, all the planets give us nutrients. Venus has Venusian nutrients. And if we're overdosed on Venus, we might be lazy, lying around in our silk robe, eating our bonbons, and we're not like getting our work out into the world. We might need a dose of sun. We might need a dose of Pluto to transform ourselves into, or we might need Mars to like have some drive. So it depends. You're so welcome. Good night. I'll do my course soon. It sounds like you're interested in feng shui. The only way you will know if a place is good to go back to is to go back and see how it feels. If it's practical to move somewhere and not heart-based, and it doesn't give you that lift, as I call it, or your heart doesn't go, for me, if something doesn't sound right, the energy kind of sinks. It's like, but it's like, if it gives you that lift, then it's right. So sometimes making decisions out of practicality doesn't give you the things you want to manifest, the abundance and all that jazz. Sassy Little Frassy, I love your name. How to find a line that's beneficial not only for you, but those in your home too, like husband and kids. You check their astrogeography in my course, and you will know what's going on for them. That being said, it's most important for the parents to be living on beneficial lines because they make the money, they create the household, they have the waters that the children swim in. So the energies of the parents are most important. And if for some reason it's a challenging line for the child, then you know how to deal with it. You have antidotes, as I call them. If there's a planetary line that's challenging, there are always antidotes, just like in feng shui. Nothing's ever perfect. There are cures for just about everything. Everything has fixes, but you first need to know what the problem is. That's why I like the course. I do coach private. I do, not necessarily coaching, but I do my intuitive sessions where I could take a peek at astrogeography. I do astrogeography where I measure out this whole map, which I may or may not be getting out of because it's super labor intensive and keeps me in a place because I have to order the maps and then I color them in. But I'm doing these for a little while longer. But I teach you how to do it without all of this measuring and coloring. I feel like that's an intuitive session for you, and we can take a peek. For you, bien den, I don't know how to say it, bien. I'm going to call you B. See, that's it. I'm pretty sure that in all of the energy types in human design, we shouldn't be doing anything that feels blah. how can that lead us to our highest good, to our spirit's calling, to our, that's like one of the things that I love to, I think, be an example of, is that when we go towards the things that lift us, good things happen. We become a beacon of light. We are emanating, our aura is radiating in a different way than we're contracted and just doing the practical blah thing. When we're lifted and doing something, we're just radiating, and then the high-flying people or the other people who are radiating can feel us, and that's when opportunities come. And this is a whole nother topic I would love to talk about in the next live, because following your heart, following your bliss is a vague embroidery pillow saying, but I have a lot to say on it because I absolutely believe it to be true. We're supposed to do the things that bring us the lift. We need to have the faith to do the things that bring us the lift, and that's how we get rewarded. 'Tis my pleasure. B, what would I suggest? Probably an intuitive session so we could get to what is going on there. How do you unlearn making decisions out of fear? I think you practice making decisions out of love. You learn from the times you've made the decisions out of fear and you see where it's gotten you. Like you say to yourself, how's that working for you? And practice little things like going the route to work you feel like, or eating something that feels juicy to you, or seeing the friend that lifts you and saying no to the things that feel on little things for little events. That's another big topic. So direct message me and I'm going to give that one some thought and a great answer. Cute glasses, sister. April Reese, sweet mama. Hugs to you. Big fat hugs. So which thing are you dealing with now, Jamie? It's probably a private session, B, to get to what's ailing you, get you to the happier place. You're excited for a private session. Yes, I think that will help. So what do we think? Are we good, you guys? Are we happy with our nighttime with Dara? It's been most fun. I love this so much. I love you guys. I love to be able to share the Jupiter joy. It's my pleasure. So I highly recommend getting a pendulum, because if you're not used to listening to your own intuition, this is just an extension of your intuition. This is an extension of spirit and your own energy giving you, for me, a circle is a yes and a back and forth is a no. Don't have legs or fingers crossed. And just say, show me a yes. Am I a woman? And it'll show you a yes. And then you get practice using it. It's really fun. So Jamie, hey, Paul Davis Architects, are you in Venice? Direct message me. I want to see what you do. Moving backwards, feeling stuck, but the reality of financial security is ruling life at the moment. When that happens and you are choosing financial security, make that your choice. Make it, instead of you have to do it, I'm choosing to do this to give myself some peace and security. And when you change it over to making it a choice, you can find joy in it. It's a reframe. I think that I do that a lot in sessions. We reframe things, we work with the energies, and we consider that saying yes to something that feels practical is saying yes to our sense of security, and that's a nice thing too. So, yes, Paul, send me what you're up to. So we are Venusians. Tomorrow is actually Venus Day, so we get to be Venusian. And what does that mean? Friday is a day, and I think of the goddess Freya, the Nordic goddess. And I heard from this man once that the heart is actually Freya's bottom turned upside down. So I never forgot that. And Jada was like 7 when he told us that, and she was like horrified. So Freya Day, Venus Day, Vendredi in French, is also Aphrodite Day. So what does that mean? It's a day to attract others and to be attracted. And what I think is that it's a day to say, I see only beauty. And that's all you'll see, because you will find what you're looking for. So I see beauty and love today. I am beauty and love. You wear what makes you feel beautiful. It might be pink and green. You might wear seashells or abalone. You might wear rose quartz, green stones for a heart-based stone. It's anything that makes you feel like you're taking an extra step to be attractive. And I know, her booty upside down. It's Freya's booty. That made me giggle, right? Like, it's Freya's booty. So, do you want me to adopt you? I think I'm an expander mommy for some. I'm happy to. I feel like I'm the mom sometimes. I just feel, I was told at 21 I'm maternal, and I got so mad. I was like, that's so unsexy. I was mad. It was this professor, and I was bartending at this university, and he's like, you're very maternal. And I was like, oh, but it's actually the greatest compliment. So thank you. Oh, you're in Santa Monica. So we can all be Venusian together tomorrow. We're going to say, I see only beauty. I see only love tomorrow. Today, every day. But on these specific days, it's a special day to harness the energy of the planet that's ruling the day. So today, for example, was Jupiter Day. It's a day to focus on abundance, wear like royal blue and purples and feel like royalty and attract Jupiter-like expansion. And tomorrow is Venus Day, so we get to be extra beautiful. So, one last question. Have any initial recommendations for finding your career purpose or niche? Mental projector needing directions. In fact, that is such a good question. It deserves its own video, because that's what I do mostly in intuitive sessions. Most of the people that are coming to me, it's about where they should be living, but it's mostly attached to what is their mission, or if you have some idea what it is, I get visuals and we navigate together on what the highest calling is. Like, what's the best way to turn it into, like practical steps to turn it into a career. So I do have that, and I recommend the intuitive sessions that I do, because there's certain clues I look for in your natal chart, and I do get them, and we do get there. I've pretty much gotten there with everybody, sometimes in the 45th minute, and usually sooner. It's like this fun game to see, and it will at least take you to your next step to get to it. Like, we unblock things somehow. So I actually would like to consider the next live just on that question. So if you would DM me that question, I would be so happy to answer it, maybe tomorrow evening. Recommendations for finding your career purpose. I can give you a clue. I would say, and I used to say, it's the things you have on your nightstand, the books that are stacked up, the things you're interested in. But now I would say it's the things you Google when you're not having to do the thing you have to do. Therein lies the clue. So, well, I did some on Instagram, some little stories here, the highlights, but what I want to do is a little mini course on what each of the days, what planets rule each of the days, what to wear, what to eat, what to say, mantras, and what stones to wear. And I kind of touch on it in the astrogeography course, so you can get a really good idea. And then Jade is going to help me something else that's a secret I'm not going to tell. I know, I too. I love that it's a thing to look forward to, Venus Day or any day. Some days we just get through the week, and how much fun it is to just say, it's Mercury Day, I'm going to communicate with everyone today. Or it's Jupiter Day, I'm attracting abundance. Let's see what happens when I open up my hands and I give and I receive. So I agree with you. It's a day to call in the nutrients that planet gives us, and it's just amazing. Ooh, manifesting generator, ready for session. You are the superheroes of society. So that should be fun for us. Hi. I think that mini course would be great. I think that's a fun one. The days of the week, what to wear, what to think, what to say, how to say it. I really want to do that one. So it's very intentional. Intentional. Mantras for the day, jewelry for the day, makeup style for the day, hairdo. No. Yeah, mantras are a good one. How to think, how to feel, how to behave, what to sink into. So pink manana, shades of pink, dusty roses, anything that makes you kind of feel romantic. Venus is not sexual as much as sensual. So I'm excited for tomorrow. Let's all show our pink. Okay, my loves, I'm going to go have some din din. I got this beautiful, you want to see it? It's a raw wrap. It's a Mediterranean raw wrap from Erewhon. Doesn't that just look so pretty? Beautiful. I'm so excited too. We'll see all of each other tomorrow. I'm happy to say that there's going to be a place where we can play coming up soon and share with each other. And I will keep you posted. So you two have a lovely, lovely night. Let's do it, B. And I love that you guys are friends with each other, because my family is global and it's inclusive. All you have to do is play nice in the sandbox, which we all do. And that's love. So big hugs, everybody. What a pleasure. And I will see you soon. I'm waiting for all the hearts and smiley faces. Sometimes I think I hang up too soon and I'm like, oh, I'll be hanging up just as someone's like saying something or sending love. And I'm like, wait, I'm going to accept the love. It's such a nice energy exchange. You guys are so generous in spirit. That's the fun game for me. That's the love. That's the whole reason. The days that you have beautiful connections with beautiful people, to me, are the best days. I love that little emoji. And then I'll say buona notte. So sweet. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm hanging up first. I'm hanging up the phone.